And we are live. Hey, hello everybody. This is the SnarkAlec Radio Show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel. We're going to talk about some freaky movies. We're going to talk about Z Nation. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead. We are going full freaking zombie tonight. Remember, in the first 5 minutes, there is no bad language on the SnarkAlec Radio Show. Tonight we have a couple of special guests. The first special guest is young Allison of Victoria. Say hi, Allison.
Hey guys! I'm excited to be here again.
And also coming back for more punishment is the lovely and talented Bronwyn Kelly, our Canadian friend.
I love being the token Canadian for SnarkAlec.
And as usual, a man who needs no introduction, a man of wealth and taste, a man who has actually laid traps for troubadours before they reach Bombay. And that is Mikey B.
Hey.
And thanks for that. And before we get to any of the other fun stuff, last but not least, the one, the only, the Kelly with the news. Hey, Kel.
Hey, Tony. It's Kelly Tool at KELLYTHUL. And yes, I am a Pine Baron. So, moving on to birthdays. Birthdays. Laura sends email day of show. Oh, wait. She sends an email. So we have Geek Aaron. Geek Aaron's birthday is October 20th. So let's make sure we give Aaron a shout-out on the 20th. And our crack staff uncovered some other information. And, Allison, you're going to need to let me know if this is true. Is October 24th a special date?
Ooh.
It's my birthday. I'll be 28.
Oh, how horrible. 28. Oh, no. Whatever will you do?
I'm so excited. I'm actually having a Edgar Allan Poe themed birthday, so I'm dressing as the Raven, and I'm really excited about this.
I thought you were going to say we were having, stuffed raven for dinner.
Someone coming to Telltale Heart?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Right?
Nevermore, nevermore.
Yes. So it was Aaron and I shared the same birthday week?
No, Aaron's on the 20th, October 20th for Aaron, and then October 24th is your birthday, right?
Yes.
So these are the two coming up here.
Friday.
So we wanted to make sure, since we had Allison with us, we didn't let her escape without us sharing with the group. And be sure and wish both Aaron and Allison a happy birthday on the 20th and the 24th. Very cool. And if you're not following Allison on Instagram, do that, because I bet we'll get some shots of the Raven outfit on Instagram, and that would be...
Yes, at Allison Victoria Wolf on Instagram.
Love it.
Victoria Wolf Raven now, though, probably for the next...
Raven.
Alrighty. Hey, on 10/18, October 18th, the sci-fi original movie will be Finders Keepers, which is about people finding things and then keeping them.
Oh.
Does anybody know anything more than that?
I was not motivated enough. It's just a sci-fi premiere, but I was not motivated enough to look. But I think it might involve a St. Christopher medal. I don't know. It's possible.
Oh, very good. Dylan Knows is this Sunday, probably.
No.
It's not on here.
No, it isn't.
Well, I didn't find out until much later. Mike is going to be on Dylan Knows again.
Woo.
I think he's almost been on there more times than Bronwyn.
No. Bronwyn, how many times have you been on the show?
I don't know. I've been on Dylan Knows a bunch of times now because I'm co-hosting the monthly international, but most of the time I've been on with Michael. It's been a pleasure. And we have a Halloween episode coming up at some point.
Yes.
Ooh.
In fact, because I wanted Bronwyn to feel comfortable when she came on here, I don't have any hockey apparelled clothing. I understand that's what the Canadians enjoy. So I always come on SnarkAlec Radio armed.
Excellent.
You never know what's going to happen. So I brought our local hockey team's colors are orange and black. So I brought my orange and black BB guns.
Nice. And here, I'm a little disappointed. We're having this whole conversation about zombies, and you bring guns to the show? I mean, why on earth, if you're going to honor the Canadianness that is me, would you not have a hockey stick? I mean, no reloading. You can get composite. Those suckers are light. And, man, you can get some reach on those. I'm a defenseman, you know? Like, you end up with a really long stick. You can get some good whaling going with that sucker.
I don't know if it's got enough heft, though. Is it heavy enough?
Sure. Oh, yes. I got an intermediate sack kick. That sucker can hit.
Got an intermediate what?
Sack kick?
Sakic. Joe Sakic?
Okay.
That-
The Canadian thing?
I know a little bit. I know a little bit about hockey.
I was proud of myself that I knew the local hockey team's colors.
Well, that is
but he's got no choice because the guy that he works with, like that he's within arm's reach, is a big Flyers fan, and
That's
he's got
true.
this big shrine to the Flyers in the corner of his workspace. So he's got no choice but to know, you know.
fair.
Yeah.
That's
But you see, he knows the name of the team, but he refuses to call them the Flyers. He calls them the local hockey team.
Go sports.
I like it.
Sports. Oh my god.
So how's hockey down in your neck of the woods, Allison? Pretty big?
I don't even think we have hockey down here. but I like the Devils.
Okay. There we go.
I like the devil.
Okay, so it's...
They're different.
I feel like that's appropriate for this show as well, you know? Horror movies, she likes the devils, you know, go.
Allison
I have a
and
lot in common with our guests tonight.
No, these are entirely different devils.
Mike is a man of wealth and taste. Pleased to meet him. I hope you can guess his name.
So when is this Dylan Knows show that I continue to not be on, Mike and Bronwyn?
Well, I'm going to be on Dylan Knows Friday night.
Friday night.
So that would be tomorrow. At what time?
I believe it starts at 9, but I may have a prior engagement then, so I could be joining a little bit later.
Well, and frankly, there will be technical difficulties, so
Right.
it won't start
And that's why I
before
say believe starts at 9 and maybe joining later. I'll be right on time.
probably.
So you're
But
not
it
getting
is
home until
Twin
sometime
Peaks
Saturday.
It's Twin Peaks themed, and my side piece Helena will be on.
Ooh, exciting.
Okay, so will you be wearing a bra to accentuate your Twin Peaks, Mike?
No, but I'll have props with me because that's a video show. Unlike here, I
okay.
never bring props on this because this is a radio show.
With the-
Except for those
bad
two
radio.
BB guns.
the BB guns.
I always have weapons with me on that show. That doesn't count as a prop. Don't trust these guys.
Fair.
Moving right along in the news.
This is the longest news segment ever.
Yeah.
See, you say I suck at this. Look how long it's taken Kelly to get through it.
There may or may not have been a left at Albuquerque.
Anyway, tomorrow night.
Should have been
Mike's-
Pismo Beach.
Well, Mike is off not being on Dylan's show because there's technical difficulties. Z Nation is on, so be sure and catch Z Nation. We're going to be having a talking to Ms. Allison about Z Nation to get her on the Z Nation bandwagon. Sunday, of course, Walking Dead, second episode of the season, first episode. Wow.
Wow.
Talking about that some.
Wait, are we going to talk? Should I watch that?
Yeah, if you have a moment. Actually, if you could leave right now, Mike, that would be awesome. Go watch
Kelly,
it.
wait, I made a T-shirt in your honor.
Yes, I know.
It was pretty wicked.
Okay, wait. We got to talk about that too. So basically, at a certain point, Kelly had made a faux pas, and he was trying to say shark chum. And what did you actually say, Kelly?
I didn't say that.
But what did you, it slips my mind right now. What was it again that you said?
It slips mine too. It must have been shark hum. That must have been what I said. I know I missed a letter in the second part, and so it must have been shark hum. You know, kind of that kind of.
Says he meant to say shark chum. I say he didn't realize we were on the air.
And
So
he
it's
missed.
kind of
He
true.
missed. He missed the second H, I believe.
Ah, yes.
So
Yes, I
Mike
did.
made a T-shirt with a hashtag shark. But I guess for decency, did they not let you do that, Mike? Was that the hang-up on that?
Well, no, I could have made it the other way, but I'm a classier guy than Kelly.
That you are. That you are.
That is about
Here
the
we are
deepest
on
cut ever.
SnarkAlec Radio, putting the ass in class.
Exactly.
And we're
Since
more than 5 minutes in, so we can say fuck.
Are we 5 minutes in? Yeah.
yes, we are. We're actually 10 in.
Fuck yes,
this
we
point.
are.
So Kelly's still struggling with the news.
It's not Kelly
It's
struggling with the
terrible.
news. It's Kelly struggling with the
Just
jerks
5
on this
minutes
show while he try and does the news.
Kelly, are you gonna ever finish the news before a commercial break? Come on.
And now with more news.
And still with the news, it's Kelly too.
All right, I want to go I want a 2-segment news. So, Boo of the Week, real quick. So we had it was during Z Nation. This was, of course, and we'll get into it in the show, but this was the famous zombie tornado episode. And so I had tweeted out the zombies are storming the house, which got a boo from Tony. And so that was Boo of the Week, but
But Tony can never get a boo from Kelly, a boo of the week. So there's got to be someone else who beat me out, right?
actually, Amy Figueroa, who's also Amy Glitters on Twitter, tweeted out, "Watch out for killer debris," which was also booed by Mr. Tony Solo. So Tony gets a double boo of the week. Bite me, Tony. There we go.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate double boo of the week.
Double boo. And since we're coming up on pretty much, I think, to our first break before we do, I don't know if I've ever mentioned to anyone on this show, but I have a prop egg from the movie Piranaconda.
Wait, what? How did you get that?
It's drag it out of me. It was on Twitter, and we were tweeting, and Sci-Fi said somebody's going to get it, and then I got the message that I got the actual prop egg. Believe it or not, it's something I keep, secret. But for tonight,
I think Tony was just fisting you a minute ago, so maybe we should take a break before you finish the story.
okay. More about the egg after the fisting, folks. We'll be right back. You listen to SnarkAlec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded.
And we're back after a very enjoyable fisting of Kelly. This is the SnarkAlec Radio show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel. And right
The
before...
next shirt is the fisting of Kelly.
Hashtag.
And right before we went to break, Kelly was regaling us with the background story to the egg that he's got decorated, and we've never heard about this before. So, tell us more, Kel.
Broke to everybody that I had actually got this actual prop egg from the movie Piranaconda. And guests are hard, yo. What I was all excited about was due to Walking Dead and the scene in Terminus around the metal trough. I was going to do the Terminus bed and breakfast, so I had the little metal trough that's up there with the egg and a baseball bat coming across the back of its head. But then I realized Allison was joining us and Bronwyn was joining us, and last time Allison joined us, which was, by the way, the SnarkAlec Radio when we didn't talk about fisting, by the way, so I hope you're okay, Allison. The show has evolved. So there was Egg and Boat last time Allison was with us, and there was some Canadian finery when Bronwyn joined us. But so for this time, it is in honor of Terminus Bed and Breakfast. But then I thought, I need to pull in the guests too. So it does have a Canadian flag, as you can see. And unfortunately, because of lighting, it's not real great. There is a little wedding veil on the top of it. So this is the bride whose fiance was killed by Bonnie and Clyde, and they were going to do a honeymoon in Canada, Terminus Bed and Breakfast Day. So Allison, who was the lovely bride in the Bonnie and Clyde show that had her husband killed and walked in the procession in her wedding dress, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I love the little egg. Oh, I hope you take a picture of it, like a close-up one, and tweet it out later.
It's out. It's out there. So there you go. So that's it. That's it for the end. We got lots of. I'll send it to you too. I'm done with the longest newscast ever of SnarkAlec Radio history.
Wow.
I blame Mike.
I don't ever want criticisms of my news reporting again.
Well, you can go fast when you don't do a frickin' thing to prepare, Mike.
Oh,
I'm the most prepared. I made you a T-shirt. Why are you picking on me? I even made the clean version of the T-shirt.
That's right. And for that, I thank you.
Yeah, and that's why the next shirt is going to be Fisting Kelly.
No, we move on to the next.
Fisting of Kelly.
So, as we said at the top of the show, Allison hasn't been here for a long, long time.
I missed you guys. It's been a long time.
It has been. It has been. So, what has been going on in your life since the last time you got killed in a movie?
Well, I got cast in something, and we film in December, and I can't talk about it, but I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm working with somebody I've worked with in the past, and
Can you at least tell us if it involves zombies?
It doesn't involve wolves.
Wait.
Maybe.
Maybe? What about unicorns?
No unicorns.
Zombie unicorns. Zombie unicorns.
That'll be me. But no, I'm really excited about that, and we're in pre-production for it. We had a contest. I don't know if you were if we talked about it, Bronwyn, but we had a contest for my screenplay, which was Brick, and it's actually now entitled The Wolf and the Rabbit, and I'm so excited. We're in pre-production. I'm in talks with some really cool names to be in it, and so I'm like crossing my fingers. But of course, you guys will get the inside scoop as soon as I can say something officially.
Does that involve zombies or unicorns?
No, it's not.
Does it involve bricks?
It does. It does involve bricks.
See, I
All
got
right,
it.
I'm
But
sold.
now it also involves rabbits. Wolves.
Wolves.
I don't know. Wolves and
You had
rabbits.
me at bricks.
But no, I mean, yeah, and bricks.
Cool.
It actually is really fun. But I'm really excited, and I'm excited, and apparently on Investigation Discovery they're playing The First Kill. I think it's called The First Kill, and I was a killer's wife in it.
Is that on demand, or is that just airing? Because I love Investigation Discovery.
It was like 2 years ago, and then they changed the name a couple times, but I think it was recently on, so.
I'm going to have to keep an eye out for it. I love that channel.
Please do. Oh my
Really,
gosh.
it worries my wife a lot that I watch that channel as much as I do, because it's usually shows about killing your spouse.
Yeah. They have a show called Wives with Knives, I think, and I catch my wife watching that all the time, and she's polishing the silverware. So, yeah.
I'm addicted to it. I get it.
It's not the watching that bothers her, it's the copious note-taking that bothers her.
Wait, and the DVRing.
Just in case you missed.
DVRing to watch over and over again, rewinding to particular segments.
I need
Every
to
once in a
see
while
if
I
I
hear
can
her
get
go,
that
well, we've been
technique.
together 15 years, and I go, it won't be 16.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, that's about it. And I just miss you guys, and I just have so much fun on this show. Like, I'm turning red, and like, it's embarrassing, but I just like it so hard.
You are my
guys are
favorite
awesome.
guest. You were on something on Investigation Discovery.
Yeah.
Literally
Thank you.
my favorite actress of all time.
Didn't you say
Well, hopefully they'll actually have some better names for me in the future, so. But that's about it. And I'm excited to be back. And hopefully I'll be back again soon. If you guys let me on the show and don't fist me out.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry to say, Allison, but everybody gets fisted on this show.
It's sort of a rite of passage.
Yes. Okay, so the one thing I did not expect this evening was to hear our good friend Allison Victoria jumping in on the fisting. No offense, Bronwyn. I felt I would have been less shocked with Bronwyn, you know. Allison, really? You people you hang out
Bronwyn,
with.
are you offended by that?
I don't know. I'm Canadian, eh?
There you go.
So Lee Midgie Girl says she did see you in the Discovery episode that you were just talking about. So at least one person is copping to watching that besides Mike.
And taking notes.
I'm taking notes. But we're going to talk about some movies, and I know, Allison, you had a movie that you wanted to talk about. So what was that?
Okay, well, it's only fitting because Bronwyn is Canadian, but I want to talk really briefly about Tusk because I am so hyped up on this movie. It's amazing. It's messed up, and like you leave the theater like people were crying, which.
Okay, wait, it
People
sounds like it
cry
might
after
not.
SnarkAlec Radio every week.
And it's usually Kelly.
I mean, that's not the normal, I guess, response to when people watch a dark comedy, but people were crying, like they really got into it. So please watch it. We have to support Kevin Smith and Canadians, and it's hilarious.
It's a Kevin Smith movie?
It's a Kevin Smith. He directed it. I don't know if he wrote it, but he directed it.
Done and
his daughter did it, and it's awesome. I mean, Justin Long is amazing, and like
I like him. He's so funny.
he's cute. I like him, but but no, it's worth it.
So
I
Allison,
mean, okay.
Who's other famous daughter? There's because it's Kevin's daughter's in it. And
It's Johnny Depp.
so Johnny Depp's daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share the premise of the movie?
Yeah, absolutely. So what it is Justin Long. Can I say the A word, or are we?
You can say whatever you want to. We are not subject to any kind
really
of
do.
FCC.
We passed our self-imposed 5-minute fuck rule.
Okay. So like Justin Long is like this asshole, and like Haley Joel Osment's in it too, and they have this like radio show that actually makes fun of people. Like it's really it's kind of like this, but not like in an asshole way.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So we're asshole.
Which one's the bigger asshole?
They're
then?
assholes.
Tony or Kelly? I'm excluding myself, obviously.
Oh. I never tell. No, just kidding. But, no, so they have this radio show, and they go to Canada. Well, Justin Long goes to Canada, and so something doesn't pan out. So he's looking to interview somebody else, and so he finds this guy who lives alone in this house, and he finds this little, like, I guess it's a note in a bathroom, and it's like, I have all these stories, but I'm alone, I'm in a wheelchair, come out and see me. So he's like, yeah. So he goes to the guy's house. My dog's licking me. That's so gross. Sorry. So he goes out to the house, and pretty much he's drugged, and that's all I can say because it's amazing. And the guy's obsessed with walruses, hence Tusk. And I mean, I can't say anything else. It's like messed up, but it's so good. Like, it's worth it.
And is this an R-rated movie?
It is R, but I don't know why it's rated R, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's worth it. Go see it. Support Kevin Smith and Justin Long. They're amazing. So.
Fantastic.
And walruses everywhere. So.
And walruses everywhere. And so before the show started, Bronwyn, you said you had a movie that you wanted to talk about briefly.
I do. If we're going to talk about weird, disturbing kind of Canadian horror movies, Ginger Snaps is a pretty classic one for us. It is a really interesting kind of version of a werewolf story meets a coming of age for a young girl story. So that's kind of neat. It's sort of the equating of puberty and the change into a werewolf.
Or as Kelly calls it, his diary.
Question. Is it something that's available on, is it like a Netflix thing? It's not something or is it like YouTube?
All three Ginger Snaps movies are widely available here.
Yes.
They're on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And on Sci-Fi Channel pretty frequently.
You have to pay in Canadian currency, which I think we established the last show was bones and stones, right?
if Bones and Stones are way effing cooler than American Money, because that shit is boring looking.
It's honestly worth more than American Money at this point.
Probably. I don't know. It goes back and forth. But ours is just so much prettier.
I assumed you guys traded hockey cards.
Oh, we do, of course, but we do that for fun.
I'm just going to keep saying hockey because it's the only word I know about sports and the only thing I know about Canada.
Okay, well, Mike, when you do finally get, past the border at some point in your life, when you can get a passport, you come up here and I'll introduce you to ball hockey.
I am trying so hard.
cute.
I was on the phone with the State Department last week for 3 hours.
Yeah. He's not able to pass a county border. They got him buttoned down so tight.
I was in Ohio last week and they strip searched me at the toll.
Well, they always do that in Ohio.
I thought that means they like you.
Don't call it the Buckeye State for nothing.
See, you learn something new every day on SnarkAlec. I didn't know they called it that.
The Buckeye State?
Yep.
If you walk away with nothing else from this episode.
Know this.
Win-win.
So, in an ongoing effort to find bad movies and watch them and enjoy them, because as far as I'm concerned, the worse a movie is, the better. So we've compiled a little bit of a list that we're going to add to, starting with, and they have to be watched in this order: Oasis of the Zombies, foreign film, horrendous. Zombie Lake. Did you ever get around to seeing that one, Kelly?
I did, and I have thoughts on that, but I thought Zombie Lake was supposed to be first.
Well, actually, Zombie Lake was first until I saw Oasis of Zombies, and I decided that it was worse then, because at least Zombie Lake had better cinematography. It didn't have all that jumpy camera stuff going on.
Oh, you call that beginning of Zombie Lake cinematography? I get it. Okay.
Well, there is.
I'll
Okay.
use that.
You keep using this word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Gratuitous nudity is what he's talking about.
Wait, which film had gratuitous nudity?
Zombie Lake.
Zombie Lake.
No, that was incredibly intricate to the storyline, Kelly.
That's 42 seconds into the movie, Mike. 42 seconds into the movie.
Plot development?
There was...
So the movie opens up.
What?
The movie opens up, and it's just like Jaws. Okay, so this girl is walking through the woods, and she decides she's going to drop all her clothes and go swimming in the lake.
Wait,
next to the sign that says, "Don't go swimming here."
Sounds like a movie I was.
Yeah, but at least it was halfway through. But then wait, it gets even better, because a little bit later on in the movie, they have like the girls' basketball team show up in like this little Volkswagen Beetle bus that there was 20 girls in.
Important to the plot.
Okay, and they're from the basketball team. There's no way that this vehicle could have held all these girls, but they all pile out of it anyway, like a clown car, and
There's
they
a lot
start.
of expository dialogue in this scene.
Yeah, it's actually in French, so you have to read the subtitles, and all they're doing is just. Well, you don't have to.
FYI, you don't have to. You can sit back and just watch. Not that.
So.
Well, apparently I'm the only one who enjoyed this film for its cinematic value. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll finish off the list and add a couple more to it. This is the SnarkAlec Radio Show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel. We'll be right back. And we're back. This is the SnarkAlec Radio Show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel. I am Tony. With me tonight is Allison Victoria, Bronwyn Kelly, The Kelly, and Mikey B. And we are talking about our growing list of zombie and bad movies, because there's going to be other bad movies that hit this list. But right now, we're in a zombie phase. So it's mostly zombie movies. The next one is a movie by Uwe Boll called Zombie Massacre. And when Kelly saw this one, he tweeted out, "I watched this on recommendation of my ex-friend Tony."
I stand by that.
So wait, now that you've seen Zombie Lake and his recommendation, who's the better friend, Kelly?
Wow, boy, that's a tough
okay.
one there.
That's a tough one, but you want to know something? I have a counterpunch to that, and that one's coming up. Okay. Kill Zombie. Did you see that one? Yeah, Kelly?
Kill Zombie. God, I've been watching a lot of these at your recommendation. I've tried to block some of them out.
Okay, Kill Zombie was the one.
I'm gonna Kill Zombie.
The two Dutch guys, they're brothers, and the zombie apocalypse happens while they're in jail.
No, I have not seen Kill Zombie yet.
Okay, because that's the last movie on this list, but it's definitely it's good. It's a black comedy, but it's a foreign film, but it is quite funny. Newest movie to be added to the list: Zombie Apocalypse Redemption. This is not the movie that was on Sci-Fi. This has got Fred Williamson, Shaft, is in it. Really bad.
That's all I needed to hear. I'm in.
Okay. Bad acting.
I'm a huge Shaft fan.
Yeah, I bet you are.
The huger the better, from what I hear.
Setting Kelly up.
That joke wrote itself.
I don't care. I'm that big of a fan.
Hey, just a little status from Twitter. Amy Figueroa is now watching. I don't know if Vicky Adesso is, but now we've got Vicky Adesso, Amy Figueroa, Holly Wilson, and Rachel Rigda as our name game.
Okay, and Lee's watching also, so or listening.
Hello.
And so, Zombie Apocalypse Redemption. You add that to the list, Kelly. It's really bad, though. You want to watch it when you have a hangover. It'll make it worse. It'll make you want to commit suicide. Pretty bad acting.
Oh, ouch.
Just two more. Last night, and this movie, it wasn't bad. It was just like mediocre. It's called Gangs of the Dead. It was a little black comedy-ish, set in Los Angeles. Meteor comes down, starts off the zombie apocalypse, and two groups of drug dealers are at a place to buy drugs when this all goes down, so they have to try and work together. It's
how heartwarming.
Yeah, it's and every one of these movies so far that I've mentioned, if you have Netflix, they're available, to stream on Netflix, so you don't have to spend $1.99, $2.99, or some,
Who would
Wayne
do
Gretzky
that just to watch a bad movie?
Or Wayne Gretzky rookie cards. You don't have to give those up to.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't give up your Wayne Gretzky.
And last but not least, Kill Zombie. Also available on Netflix. It's pretty funny. It's a black comedy. You do have to do some reading because it is a Dutch movie, but it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny, and pretty well done.
So Allison, do you have Netflix?
I do. Well, I got it for what's that show? And it's
Orange is the New Black.
No, I'm not watching that one, but everyone is.
Not yet.
Castles?
No, it's the one, and there's 2 seasons, and House of Cards.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I got it specifically for that, and I have my free month. So I'm gonna go and download these or.
Okay, so.
Well, you can watch them stream.
Stream it. Sorry, stream it.
Yeah.
So Tony, you're recommending now. Mike had recommended Zombie Lake, Zombie Oasis, but you've now negated that list and said it's Zombie Oasis, Zombie Lake. I just want to make sure.
Well, Mike recommended those 2 movies, and I am just putting them in the order where I think starting at the top is the worst, getting to the better movies. And by far out of this whole list, Oasis of Zombies would be the worst movie. So you'd want to watch that first, and then you get progressively better and better. And as new movies come in, something may bump out Oasis of Zombies. I'm going to tell you right now, you've seen that movie, Kelly?
Yes.
it's going to be very difficult to knock that out of the top.
I'm curious. Kelly said that he had some thoughts to share about Zombie Lake. What were those thoughts?
Well, so my thoughts are, so I'm struggling here because what I want to recommend to both Allison and Bronwyn that they watch Zombie Lake for the first 50 seconds.
That's it.
Just enough to get the nudity.
Okay.
And they contact me and I will apologize.
So the premise of this movie, is this lake is well, it's called Zombie Lake because the zombies come out of the lake, but they're zombie Nazis.
Oh, zombie not? Of course they are.
Because this is in France, and during the Second World War, they were killed because it was near the end of the war, and the Germans were trying to retreat, and the local resistance actually ambushed them and killed them while they were retreating. But then they realized that if the Gestapo came through and found these guys dead, they'd kill everybody in the town. So they hid the bodies in the lake, and then they became zombies. So
that's cool.
Good movie.
It's really interesting.
Good movie, bad fishing.
They come out of the water. They're soaking wet. The makeup is dripping down their faces and stuff. Then now they're walking towards the town. This is the next scene, so it's 2 minutes later. They're perfectly dry.
Zombie magic.
Zombie magic. Stuff like that happens throughout the whole.
I own 3 copies of this movie.
And why he's got 3 separate copies, I don't know. But part of the story is told in flashbacks because one of the German soldiers had something going on with one of the villagers, and stuff happens, and there's
little baby zombies.
No, just one, and not a zombie.
Oh.
Sorry, that's Zed Nation.
It's horrific. it really is. What you want to watch for, particularly the scene where the hard-nosed reporter, goes in to talk to the mayor about the Lake of the Damned. It's a good scene to see because watch when she walks in the mayor's room and you get to basically in the mirror on the back wall see the entire camera crew.
Yes.
So that's a really nice moment. And that makeup that Tony's talking about coming off, the wet and dry zombies all the way through there. And then I never quite understood when one of the victims went early that they drug her to the mayor, kind of splayed out. They, there's like 4 of them, and one has an arm, and she's there, and her dress is all hiked up, and they just kind of drag her to the mayor, and he goes, "Well, can't help you." So it's just great.
Look, we've got another stiffy,
so to speak.
And then, but then the
tell
guy...
me you guys are not going to go watch this movie right after the show.
Mike, I'm not even joking. That was awesome.
You might want to make sure your significant other doesn't.
He'll watch it. He'll watch it.
There is a love scene that involves, I think it's about 3 minutes of one of the German soldiers having his face in the breasts of a woman, and he's just motorboating the whole time.
That wasn't in the script. I mean, that
was
all just happening, and they decided, we'll film it.
That's right. And the funny thing is, they subtitled it.
Yeah.
What's great is on the Blu-ray, they have somebody doing sign language on the side, and they just shrug their shoulders during that scene.
The director's cut. And this whole scene was improvised.
What's actually great, though, and this is for real, on the DVD and Blu-ray special editions of the movie, they give you the option of watching certain scenes with their clothes on.
What? No joke?
The scenes that Kelly's talking about, they shot alternate versions with the girls clothed, and you can watch it that way if you prefer.
Okay, can I just say that from the sounds of this, I'm wondering how do you have a DVD and a Blu-ray edition of this movie? Like,
I also have it on VHS.
VHS. Oh my
He's
god.
probably, if he looked, he'll probably find it on beta too.
Laser disc. The
I'm
laser
not even
disc.
gonna say how much money I paid for the VHS.
Oh my god. The cost of nostalgia. I love it.
Don't watch it for. You have to watch it for its badness. That's the reason that you'd watch it. I mean, I watched that movie and I enjoyed it because, I mean, there was a couple of scenes in there. I was like, okay, I understand what you're going for here. Let's move it along. You know, it can get a little bit annoying, but.
Now, was that the girls' basketball team swimming in the lake, Tony? Was that the scene you were like,
no.
if only this could move quicker. If only I had the DVD and could watch the clothed version.
To put this in perspective, you guys have seen The Room, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I can't, in all good conscience, actually recommend The Room. But if you see it, tweet me because we'll have a conversation.
I heard it's terrible.
Terrible is not strong enough.
Okay, well, to put it in perspective,
Zombie
terrible
Lake
like
or The
Troll
Room?
2.
Oh.
Well, terrible like Troll 2 because let's get a movie that maybe
Terrible
we've
like
all
Troll
seen.
2. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great movie.
And The Room is not a great movie.
Oh, so then it's not like Troll 2.
But it is terrible.
Well,
So
okay, so have you ever seen House of Blood?
No.
Okay. Oasis of Zombies is probably worse than House of Blood, and House of Blood is one of those movies that they show at least 7 or 8 times a year on Chiller.
Now, have you seen Birdemic? Because are we talking like Birdemic level or no?
No,
I went
have
to the
not
premiere of Birdemic 2.
Oh, you are my hero.
I don't know if do you follow me on Instagram?
Clearly, I need to.
You need to. There's pictures of me with the creators of Birdemic, and that was one of the proudest moments of my life.
Okay. I am going to find you.
We have a very large Birdemic poster in my house.
So,
Yeah.
I brought up a movie a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned it earlier, Zombie Massacre, and it's an Uwe Boll movie. And Mike, who's very into movies, not Oscar-winning movies, but the type of movies that I like, told us a little piece of information about Uwe Boll, where he specializes in making shitty movies. He does it on purpose.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to find some more of his stuff. But Zombie Massacre is another, cliched, bad acted. It's shot pretty well, which you can't say that about Oasis of Zombies. But bad cast, bad writing, cliched. In this particular movie, half of the cast is either Scottish or Irish, and one of them is supposed to be the president. One of them is supposed to be like a senator, and like they're all supposed to be high officials in the U.S. government, and none of them are even trying to do an American accent. So,
Yeah.
and I guess Uwe Boll, he plays the president. He's also the director and producer, whatever, and he believes that he sounds American if every other word he says is fuck, and so that's what his character does.
That's because he watches SnarkAlec Radio.
And speaking of SnarkAlec Radio, we'll be right back after this brief message. And this is the SnarkAlec Radio. I am Tony. With us tonight is Allison, Bronwyn, Kelly, and Mikey B.
And just to add on to that, though, the Pope is a huge fan of SnarkAlec Radio as well. So I think it's only a matter of time before he starts saying fuck a lot in interviews as well.
Yeah, but I think he'll wait until he gets after the first 5 minutes of his sermon before he actually does that. So, but we'll have to see what happens. He hasn't called me lately, but he does watch and listen to SnarkAlec Radio. So, are we done with the?
Perfectly comfortable saying that.
Are we talking potato Pope?
No. So are we done? Are we done with bad movies? Do we want to move into? Do we want to go full zombie and talk about Z Nation?
Yes, and so Allison, let's visit about some of your life choices for a moment, if we can. You've chosen not to view Z Nation yet, correct?
Okay.
You have chosen poorly.
Yeah.
Here, okay, the trailer is this baby going.
Oh, and that's horrible.
Is that the whole movie? I mean, or the whole series? Because it's like that part makes me so angry, and it's like I don't know why. I don't know. It's like explain to me why I should watch this because I'm
Okay.
Oh.
I can do that. The baby was a terrible choice. The rest of the show was actually great.
Okay.
Okay. I can take a shot at it too. If you watch movies on Sci-Fi Saturday nights premieres and you get some of the good ones, kind of like, did you see Sharknado 2? Allison?
I did not.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I know. I should have. But Mark McGrath made fun of me on the Sci-Fi Channel, so I boycotted.
Why did he make fun of you? What's this about?
Well, not to diverge, but I was on the 15 greatest or 15 bloodiest shark deaths. It was called Sharkmania, and so they made fun of my scene. And so Mark McGrath was like, "She's not hot," and he was in Sharknado 2, so I boycotted.
Rightly so.
Well, and I feel as comfortable saying this as I do that the Pope's a fan. Fuck Mark McGrath.
He's a dick.
That shouldn't
He's a
stop you
bigger
from
dick
watching
than
the show.
Carl.
Nobody likes Mark McGrath.
Oh.
And I hope everyone in Sci-Fi Channel and Mark McGrath hears that.
Yeah.
I
I'll
don't
tweet
even
it
know who
live.
he is, if that's any consolation.
That's right. He is the Mike of sci-fi. Just to give you
No,
a
so you can listen to my band.
Yeah, sorry, so that's why I'll bet I'll watch it eventually, but is it?
Isn't he good friends with Will Wheaton?
If he is, I love Will Wheaton. I hope not.
Well, Will Wheaton's show is gone too. They didn't, all of a sudden it's not there no more.
Oh.
He used to have a show on Sci-Fi. Didn't last long, did it, Mr. Will Wheaton?
Oh,
I'm
that's
a Will Wheaton fan, but the show wasn't good.
Oh, it was horrible.
That's
It would have been better if he would have invited us on, but he never did. I extended an olive branch. I tweeted him a whole bunch of times. Hey, we can help you out with this.
I'm shocked. On that. I'm totally shocked.
SnarkAlec.
Makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense because the stuff that he was doing was all scripted and poorly scripted at that, when the stuff that we do is off the top of our heads, and it is. I'm going to say, at least Kelly's funny. Mike sometimes, but Kelly is very funny. So, and me just being there to fist people every once in a while, that's all you need.
Everyone has to have a skill.
And hey, you know what they say? It's better to be the fister than the fisty. And,
I'm so sorry to diverge.
Like Grandma always said.
Look what you've done!
I know, I'm sorry.
So,
But no, that's why I haven't
so bring it back.
Respect your and if you want to, because that's not cool that he dissed you on that show. So if you want to maintain your
people did, so it's okay. But
yeah, well,
Fuck you,
it's
Mark.
how we
McGrath.
met you though, so it was an awesome scene as far as we're concerned.
To bring it back around.
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so to bring it back around, basically, if you like sci-fi movies and you're in on the joke and you get the joke and the movie isn't taking itself seriously, like Sharknado 2, where you're laughing with the movie, well, the people that made Sharknado, The Asylum, and Sharknado 2, and Bigfoot, and a whole bunch of other staples of sci-fi, is the production company behind Z Nation. And they go about the show the same way. So it's like every week getting a premiere of a mini sci-fi movie, which is really cool. This last episode, I don't know if Kelly wanted to take a shot first before we got into it of convincing you why you should watch.
I'll do a quick one when we get into the episode, but it is you're gonna enjoy the hour. Now, I said if the baby thing kind of bothered you a little bit, now see this is a path where we diverge. We're good buddies, we're good friends. But while a zombie baby to you is a bad thing, a zombie baby to me is the most beautiful thing in the world. It's the most amazing, awesome thing. But they just create really clever, unique things. The characters are funny. There is still a sense of the stuff that's going on. But there's always going to be these Sharknado-like moments, these big over-the-top sci-fi moments, the Zombie-nado, all these types of things. It's an enjoyable hour. You will smile for most of it, and so skip the baby episode.
Yeah. Now, actually, I would say don't skip the baby episode because you want to see the baby in context, because it was a real baby and then it turned. Okay.
And it's not the hugest part of the episode. And honestly, the baby thing didn't grab me because it was the first episode, and I was still kind of settling into what this show was going to be about. By the end of the episode, I was sold, and I queued up the second episode immediately. So that should tell you something. But the baby drove me crazy because it went from being a normal baby, which was cute baby, whatever, to being a zombie monster, and it's the zompocalypse, so yeah, that follows.
And it was
but all of a sudden,
around.
Instead of being a baby that's also a zombie, it's this weirdly intelligent, scuttling
super baby. It flew around.
Real baby. It was just oh look, I can't move. I'm totally a tiny little insect.
In a car seat, yeah.
Oh no! All of a sudden, no change, no. All of a sudden, I'm completely gray and jumping!
Well, no, but even better than that, go back and watch it, Bronwyn, because when it's a baby, at one point it opens its mouth and it barely has two little baby teeth.
Yeah.
After it becomes a zombie, it's got a full mouth of adult-sized teeth, which were hysterical. It was just an over-the-top, big, shark.
This Monty Python. If Monty Python did zombies, that's what would have happened.
Right.
And they call him Tim. He's the bunny. He's the bunny that everyone's afraid of.
See, I actually did not like the zombie baby, and I like zombie babies. They've been done really well in other things. It was not done well there. But I can sum up why you should watch it. It's fucking Batman. Oh, wait,
that's for Gotham.
That's Gotham.
And that works. That's compelling.
But I like the crossing of the memes.
Well, you have to, just giving it, that was the trailer. It was always the baby. And it kind of felt, did you guys see Pontypool? It was a movie.
Yes.
Okay, didn't it kind of feel with the radio station a little bit like Pontypool in the trailers?
Yeah, I can kind of see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like that, though.
Okay.
Not at all like Pontypool.
Is it
Now,
more-
did you like Pontypool?
I did.
Yeah, I really liked Pontypool. It is not like that. Now, that's not to say Z Nation's bad. It's just not like Pontypool.
How many episodes am I behind?
5?
We're coming into 5 now, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So next time I get on, I will have watched it. I promise.
I got to tell you guys something, though, seriously, as the token Canadian, and this is my role here, right? It does not matter how many times you guys say, Z Nation. Oh, it sounds awful. It sounds awful. Z Nation is so much better, and I hear them on the show, and they're like, oh, the Z's, and every time I'm like, Twitch. It's awful.
It's called Z Nation?
Yeah.
Well, in some tribal societies.
I'm sorry, we're not talking about Wisconsin.
They're not even tribal Wisconsin. I don't even want to talk about it. And we all know we've already established what goes on in Ohio. And nobody wants any of that.
The Buckeye State.
Buckeyes.
Things I learn on SnarkAlec Radio.
So
We're all about education here.
Mm-hmm.
in the newest episode, it was called Home Sweet Home. Our intrepid gang have been trying to. The premise of the show is they have a guy who is the survivor of a zombie attack. He was given an antivirus, and it seems to have worked. And they're trying to escort him from the east coast of the U.S. cross country to a lab that, let's face it, probably doesn't exist anymore in California, but that's what their job is. And there is another character in the show that isn't with the group. He worked at the NSA. He was in a missile silo bunker type place in Montana or someplace. And
I'd say probably Alaska.
well, and he's got control of satellites and everything, and he's a computer whiz, and he's the only one alive up there, and he's trying to guide them across the country, and plus he's got a big crush on one of the girls in the group named Addie. So
and he's cuckoo for a couple of us.
Oh, so cool. Oh yeah, he's over the top.
Yes, and he's got an Alaskan Husky, and I'm starting to be a little concerned about that dog, but let's not go there just yet.
Okay.
In Ohio.
Ohio. So why don't we take a quick early break, and then when we come back, we can talk about the episode, and then we can get into the premiere of The Walking Dead. What do you think? Good idea?
You're listening to the #1 radio show in the Buckeye State, SnarkAlec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded. We will be right back. Hi, everybody. We're back. You're listening to SnarkAlec Radio on Live 365's Loud and Loaded. We're going to talk a little more Z Nation and a little bit of Walking Dead. We got to make sure before time runs out tonight that we spend a little time on any other web show of interest we might have to talk about.
So, Home Sweet Home was the name of this episode, and we're traveling. And Kel, correct me if I'm wrong. Do we know approximately where they are? They were in Virginia in the previous episode. I don't know what state they're supposed to be in now.
They were in the great state of Illinois for this episode at the beginning.
Ooh.
Okay, so they were in Illinois. So they went from New York to New Jersey to Philly to Virginia, and now they're almost halfway across the country.
And you saw what they did there.
Yeah, they
gave
jumped.
Ohio a wide path.
Yes.
They knew. They knew.
Yeah. Well, maybe they couldn't tell us what happened in those mountains over there. You know, where the hillbillies are too. Maybe they just skipped right over that part too. But as I said, Allison, you got this guy. They call him Z. He's called Citizen Z or Z.
Do you call him Z, Bronwyn?
No, I call him Zed, like normal folk.
Is that actual slashy letter at the end of the alphabet? Is that what you Canadians refer to that last letter? It is Z. It's not Z.
No, ew, no.
You don't say just when you're trying to be cute. It's always Z. It's always Z.
Always Zed, always.
Oh, that's just
See, and I always thought that Zed was the last brother, because you had Ed, you had Jed, you had Ted, you had Fred, and the last one was Zed, because
my brother's name
letters.
is Ian.
Gosh. Zed.
So Citizen Fred, I mean Zed, I mean Citizen Z.
Come on, Zed sounds
so
so
right.
much better. You
Citizen
know.
Whack-a-wacky.
That's one of the things. Once we take over Canada, Kel, we're gonna have to fix this Z shit. All right.
Okay, that's the first order of business.
We've been waiting since 1812, guys.
So Upper Dakota, there'll be no Z.
Lower Nunavut looks pretty good from here.
So Overwatch decides that it can see the weather satellites because they're still operational, and says, "Hey, you got a whole lot of bad weather heading your way, and you should find some place to hunker down." So they decide to go to one of the characters' hometowns, and they don't actually tell you how it happened, but she was part of the National Guard, and she ended up in New York somehow. But if she was from Illinois and it was her hometown, I don't know why she'd be in New York if she was in the National Guard. That doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently,
Vacay?
well, she was in the first episode. I think she does mention she had been deployed.
Yeah.
So,
In Ohio.
but on the way to Ohio,
The Buckeyes, dude.
but they got lost and ended up in Sleepy Hollow, New York. So, talk about taking a wrong turn.
I was waiting for Ichabod. I really was.
Yeah.
He says Zed, doesn't he? I think he does.
Yes, he does. But then again, he can because he's from
He's all fancy.
300 years ago. He's pre-1812.
Or, Canada.
Okay, I can't read that, but thank you, Amy Glitters. That was very funny.
Something you can't read on SnarkAlec Radio?
Okay, I can. She says she can't wait to get fisted. Amy says, I can't wait to get fisted. Sounds really fun. Okay, so we'll just
Out
have
of
to...
context, that's a tough tweet.
I think the best thing to do in that case is to follow Kelly on Twitter at KellyTool, THUL.
So,
I'm sorry, but why?
As someone who's vacationed with Kelly,
In
I
pretend
can tell you,
Ireland.
the fisting is a regular staple of the Kelly Tool program.
It's a really lovely shade on you, Kel.
Back to Dead Nation, if we could.
yeah. So anyway,
Back to the news.
We haven't finished that. Well, we're in the weather now.
All just the news segment.
Okay. Well, now I'm excited about the show.
Yes. No, and it's really good because they do make a little bit of a reference to Sharknado. At one point when the storm is coming, they say at least it's not sharks. But I think Doc had some of the best lines. He's like, if I see a munchkin, what did he say, Kelly? If I see a munchkin, I'm going to...
Oh, I don't remember what he said.
Uh-oh.
I don't. But it was just basically along the lines of that he was gonna, I don't know, he was gonna be, but they made a Munchkin reference, but I can't remember what he said he was gonna do.
But it is a good show.
Yeah,
Enjoyed the episode.
What the young guy, the sharpshooter, sitting in the back of the truck with the with one of the female characters, and he turns to her and he says, "Excuse me, ma'am, you have a finger in your hair."
Yeah, 10K, and the character, I don't know if she actually she does have a real name, but I just call her Sunshine because that's what they were referring to her as of more.
Yeah.
But she looks at him strange, and then she kind of looks down, and she sees she's got a finger in her hair, and she just flings it off. And it's just moments like that in the show that make it more awesome.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you see all the personal growth I'm showing here, though? I didn't make a single joke about Kelly. And the whole finger in the hair talk there.
It's good. Just don't spoil it. You're on a roll. Keep it up.
Only because I know the Pope's watching.
That's right. We want to keep it in. And we've been a little fisting heavy this show, so we want to kind of probably balance it out a little bit.
Yeah. But out of the whole season so far, I think my least favorite episode is the second one because it felt like it was just a setup for the following episode. It was moving a little bit slow, but each episode it is fast paced and so far, they haven't been in a place longer than one episode. Like when the episode is done, they're done with that spot and they're moving on. But it is definitely we've told you some, but we definitely have left out a lot. It is definitely, if you've got the time, it is definitely worth the watch.
I think the finger in the hair is what got me.
Yeah,
Finger in the hair is good. Good characters too. Good characters.
Yeah. Good characters, and we're starting to. I mean, you can make comparisons to The Walking Dead, but this is totally a different show. It's got, it's different. It's funnier, and it's more along the lines of, hey, let me sit down. And you want to know something? I come home. It's Friday. I'm freaking tired. I really don't want to think too much about what I watch. And Z Nation is the perfect show for that. You get home, you relax, and yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mike?
Yeah, and the characters are awesome. Just wanted to kind of add in there that Tony's been a big favorite of Doc, who's a real good character in there. I've been a pretty big fan of Murphy, who there's mixed reviews on whether he's good or bad. I find him a pretty funny character until this most recent one, where now he's using zombies as quilts and stuff like that, which is an interesting turn. But I have to give props to Doc, Tony, the whole. And just to not to spoil it for you guys too much, but there's a scene where basically this guy Murphy suggests they put this guy down in front of his wife. And you just see everybody in the whole room kind of freak, and Doc just looks over and goes, "Read the room, man." It was like the best line of that whole show. I roared.
Yeah. Murph is definitely now in the next episode. They did allude to the fact that we're going to lose somebody.
And so I have until when to catch up? It airs tomorrow?
Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But I believe the following day, Sci-Fi puts them all online. So I think you can watch everything up to tomorrow's online, but you don't have to binge. You could probably catch up. You can catch up by the next time you come on SnarkAlec Radio, but we might ask you to come back next week. You never know.
You never know. I think I'm going to come back with like a Z Nation T-shirt.
Wait a second, the Canadian there. Nice job. Nice job.
There goes a T-shirt. There goes a T-shirt for you, Mike. The Grateful Zed. And have a zombie on it.
I don't know. I think fisting heavy episode. It's kind of in the lead right now. Thanks again, Kelly.
He is the funny one. Who knew?
Shut up, Bronwyn.
You know you love me, Kelly.
You're awesome. Yeah. So do we roll into a little bit of? Cause, oh my God, this has been crazy fun. But we haven't talked a word about the premiere of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit that real quick. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll hit that, and then we'll talk about maybe something else, and then we'll jet. This is the SnarkAlec Radio Show on Live 365's Loud and Loaded channel, and when we get back, we will be talking about the season premiere of The Walking Freaking Dead. And we're back. I'm Tony. Tonight, Allison's here, Bronwyn's here, Kelly's here, Mike's here, and we're about to talk about the season premiere of The Walking Dead. And I just got fisted by Mike, and you don't fist the fist Mike.
You don't want to get fisted by a guy with tattoos on his knuckles.
Hey, listen, you don't want to get knuckled by a man with tattoos on his fist. That didn't make any sense.
I have nothing to add at all. Zero. Nothing.
I think that might be slang in Ohio.
Okay. Hey, I went back to Ohio.
Backed into Ohio. You got back into Ohio.
I went back to Ohio, but the refrigerator was gone. I can't remember the rest of that. Oh my God, what the hell did they put in this? Sparkling. So, hey, on Sunday, if you've been living under a rock, then you missed the biggest premiere probably of the fall season, which was the return of The Walking Dead on AMC. And when last week,
it was so gory, and I've been watching it for all of the seasons. I actually had to stop eating because I thought I was going to be ill.
Okay. Well,
I love gore. How could I have missed this again?
Okay.
Living You're a rock.
Yeah, way to go, Allison, huh? What are you thinking?
I hope it was a really nice rock.
Yeah. Comfy rock, nice and soft. One of those styrofoam ones with the speaker that you could put out by your pool.
And sparkly,
really nice.
a little bit of mica in there just to give it a little shine.
Yeah.
Or sci-fi saying it wasn't even that pretty of a rock.
So when last we saw our what was left of our group, they were locked up in a boxcar in a place called they thought it was Sanctuary, but it wasn't.
Terminus should have given it.
Terminus. Yeah, it's the end of the line. And we had some predictions about what was going to happen, and hey, I was right. It had to be Tyrese and Carol that got them out, but and baby Judith.
Baby Judith's
Mike's
prediction
brought out the baby head. Oh, it isn't a show until Mike brings out the baby head.
So, Kelly, what did you think? I know you.
I loved it. I mean, I came in with high expectations. They said it was going to be high energy. And I'm a pretty durable guy in terms of watching these things and not, going, not regretting it. But that first 10 minutes, I'm sitting there going, so why am I here? I really feel bad right now for the, because it was tough stuff, and I've never been happier to see somebody stabbed in the neck with a piece of wood than when that happened. So.
One of my first impressions was, okay, so the show starts out with them being pulled out of this cattle car, this box car. They're fashioning makeshift weapons out of wood that's in there. They hear a voice that says, "Step to the sides," and they're getting ready at the door, and then the roof opens up and they drop like a gas canister in there, and Rick gets a boot to the face. And they're in a slaughterhouse. Next scene. Rick, Daryl, Glenn, and Abraham?
Bob.
Bob are lined up at this trough with 4 other guys. And
you can imagine how long the other guys last.
Okay. And so the deal is, they get a baseball bat to the back of the head, and then the guy comes and slits the neck, so they bleed out into this trough. And it happens to the first guy. It happens to the penguin. It happens to the next guy. Happens to the next guy. Next guy up is Glenn. And just as Glenn is about to get the baseball bat in the back of the head, the guy comes in and he wants to know what their bullet count is. So the guy stops. And he's like, "What are you talking about? Can't you see we're doing something?" He's about to take the swing again. And the guy says, "Yeah, no, I'm serious. We need to know." So the guy stops. And I was said to myself at that point, when did they get all sci-fi on me? This almost turned into a Z Nation episode, because that would have been something that they did in Z Nation, where guy's about to get it, stop. Guy's about to get it, stop. At that point, you hear a noise outside, and it disrupts things, and all of a sudden, here we go. And it was just crazy at that point. Just crazy.
Did they show like the actual slitting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they.
Yeah, and it was, and I think it was on Talking Dead afterwards. They talked through the gag a little bit on how they did it, and they basically said Greg Nicotero, who does all the effects, was on the show, and he goes, actually it was a pretty easy one, because they basically ran tubes up on either side and kind of had a little bit of an appliance. So once they cut it, they basically had people in the back just pumping tons of, and it was a
grotesque.
Tough scene. And then just the whole, it feels, when someone gets hit very hard in the back of the head with an aluminum baseball bat, outside of the really cool ding, not a comfortable time. It's not good.
Yeah.
Did the baseball bat, does that knock them out before they're...
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it put them over the trough, so they're compliant.
Metal
and
trough.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, that's amazing. Why have I missed this? Okay, keep going, sorry, keep going.
We only got one episode to catch up there, Allison.
Yeah.
You get to.
But
you are
the-
so close.
Madness ensues. Tyrese and Carol come on the scene. They see what's going on. They
Can we
find the
just take a drop
cabin.
to how badass Carol was? Like,
Well, Carol was friggin'
like
awesome.
hot
And the only
damn.
the only problem I had with her was that they could have done something a little bit different as far as, okay, so she's got to try and figure out, because what they were trying to do is attract the zombies to Terminus so they can get in a zombie assist, because it turns out what Carol's plan was to create some kind of a disaster, not a disaster, a distraction. And she did what they did in the first season, and she covered herself in zombie guts.
Oh.
So she could fit right in with them. And so she ended up shambling right into Terminus with the zombies after she caused the Kelly?
Zomplosion.
The Zomplosion. I saw your tweet. The Zomplosion. She shoots a big giant propane tank, and she gets a bottle rocket, a firework, and she really didn't aim it. Like that thing was shooting straight up in the air. She could have aimed it a little bit, but causes this big explosion. Zombies are flying all over the place, but the fences are taken down, and she starts shambling in, and that's what helps Rick and the rest of these guys get out. And correct me if I'm wrong, because there was two things that happened that I'm not sure of. First of all, at a certain point, Maggie pulls out the watch, and she was looking at it. So I said to myself, holy shit, like all of the things that Rick looked at that tipped them off, that said, hey, something is wrong here, was all wrong. Like the pocket watch that he thought was Glenn's, Maggie still had it. But Rick, for some reason, sensed something was wrong. Did you pick up on that too, Bronwyn?
A little bit. I think part of it was like he was sort of maybe projecting, because all he could see was all of these accumulated possessions, and I think that was what twigged him. It wasn't necessarily specifically that they were, that it was Glenn's, or if it was or wasn't Glenn's. Like he thought it was. So
right.
But all of a sudden he was like, why do they have all this stuff?
Yeah. He focused on that, but then there was the poncho and the other things. But I was like, holy shit! Like Rick, and it was the pocket watch that really set him off.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's face it, I don't know anybody who carries a pocket watch. Okay, to find two people in the zombie apocalypse that are carrying a freaking pocket watch, like, what are the chances of that? Like, I mean, I used to wear a watch all the time. I don't anymore. I don't know anybody who really wears a watch anymore, because everybody just looks at their phone when they want to see what time it is. So
maybe he was steampunk. He was probably steampunk before the Zompocalypse.
could be. And I don't know if there was anything else we wanted to hit, Kelly. Was there anything you wanted to hit? Because I don't want to give too much away. Or
no. We got Allison has much catching up to do.
I have my SnarkAlec
television.
So start reporting back to SnarkAlec Central on your progress, so that we can keep track, and then we're gonna get you back on when you're all caught up, and do it. But no, it is so Z Nation. I think you're gonna enjoy a lot lighter fare. Walking Dead, serious, intense. The good news there is you're just one episode down. So, and you're gonna
you really did convince me about Z Nation. I mean, it was like I think that trailer that got me. But I love sci-fi, so I mean, I got to get over it and watch it. I think it's gonna be good. So
we can still hate Mark McGrath.
Yeah, Mark.
That's right.
Hashtag fuck Mark McGrath. You guys get on Twitter, start that up.
So,
you hear us, Pope? You tweet that out right now, Pope. Mr.
So, couple of things. A couple of things before we get too far. Lee says it was the first 10 minutes was the best 10 minutes in TV ever. Vicky Adesso said she has to stop because she didn't see it yet. So she can't listen. She's saying have fun. And Lee says it was perfect. So that was comments about The Walking Dead. I think it was perfect. It was really believable how they got out of there. I didn't think they'd be able to pull it off. The only other thing that, and I'm wondering whether or not we're going to have that guy come back, the guy, the ringleader, and I can't remember his name. Sorry, I didn't.
Gareth.
Yeah. Well, if he comes back, because Rick said, they were talking about certain things, and Rick said he was going to kill him with a samurai sword, and Rick shot him, and he wounded him, but he didn't kill him.
Mm.
But something that I may or may not have picked up on when they stopped, and this is one of the reasons why everybody still watches this show. When they were escaping, in the middle of the escape, there was another one of these box cars. And Glenn says, we got to stop. We got to let these people out. And Rick looked at him like he was crazy. And Glenn said to him, because that's who we still are. We're the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up, Glenn.
Important.
Yeah. Well, opens the gate, opens the thing, and this crazy guy comes out and starts babbling in Rick's face. And Rick is looking at him, and then all of a sudden, Zombie just comes and takes him out. But I thought that guy was the same guy that they showed at the end of the episode when they did that flashback, because Terminus had been taken over, and we didn't even touch on Carol's scene with the cook there, which we should just leave that one there for now, because there are a couple of people that haven't seen that. So that's a treat that we can leave for people, because Carol did the right thing. Yeah. Carol did the right thing in that spot. But he was taking this particular character out of the cattle car, and he said, you're either going to be the butcher or you're going to be the cattle. Mm-hmm. So the people that were the cattle turned out or became the butchers. And I guess that's the moral of the story, but now the butchers are allegedly all dead.
Fun fact, that's the Ohio State motto. I don't know if you...
Okay. And great.
I apologize on behalf of Loud and Loaded to all of Ohio for Kelly's remarks.
I agree with Kelly on his remarks about Ohio. But having said that, big surprise at the end of the episode. Huge surprise.
It's a unicorn.
A zombie unicorn?
No. Even better than that, Morgan returns. And we were talking about Morgan last week.
Yes, we were.
So Morgan
looking a
returns.
little less crazy.
Yeah.
Still kind of crazy, but less crazy.
Looking a little bit more Jedi. Because he was doing that Obi-Wan thing with that, that hoodie that he had covering his whole face. When he pulled it back, it was like, oh, it's Morgan, yeah.
I had a moment before he pulled the mask off of thinking, wait, it's Beth.
Yeah, well, I think
would have been a different story.
I have a feeling that next week is going to be Beth. It's going to be all Beth. I don't think we're going to see anything that happens to these people. I think we're going to find out what happened to Beth, because we haven't seen Beth since halfway through last season. Halfway through the second half of last season, because I think she disappeared episode 9 maybe. So that would have been, was it 9 or 10? Maybe 10. No, it was 11. Around there.
I don't know.
There's 16 seasons. There's 16 shows. There's 16 shows, and she wasn't in at least the last 3, maybe the last 4. So maybe 11 or 12 was the last we saw of her.
Hope they didn't pay her.
I don't know.
One wanted to
Well,
weigh
why
in.
would you care if they paid her or not?
Because you gotta work for your money, man. Tired of these actors living off of me.
Okay, so do we want to take a couple of minutes and talk about anything else that we may have been enjoying recently?
Yes, I would love for us to do that because we asked both of our guests to take in a certain guilty pleasure of Tony, Mike, and I, and surprisingly, Allison, who's so far behind on everything else,
I'm up on
liked this one. And Bronwyn's trailing a little bit, but you've got two down, right?
A little bit behind on. I got sucked into Zed Nation. I didn't have time.
Okay. So maybe we could talk a couple minutes about, we're talking about, of course, Dylan's awesome show, The Assistant. Now, here's the other thing, Allison, because this is really going to end, and I think Bronwyn knows, I'm not sure, but there is a show dedicated to talking about The Assistant. So, you've got like Talking Dead and Talking Bad. There is a show hosted by our very own Mike called Talking Assistant. What's the hashtag, Mike?
That would be hashtag talking ass.
The best part of the Talking Assistant shows is they tend to run 3 to 4 to 5 times longer than any single episode of The Assistant. So,
because that's not that long. So.
sure. So we explore all the nooks and crannies, if you will. So would love to hear your reactions and thoughts. So Allison, could you share? You described what you were about the show. I
love the show. Like at first, I was like, okay, there's somebody else out there that thinks the way I do, and I didn't realize that I was thinking like a Time Lord, but I am. I mean, it's very. I mean, I don't want to spoil for you, Bronwyn, but I mean, literally. It's his journey, and he's discovering things, and his kids are in it. And I actually wore a cat shirt.
Aww.
in honor of his cat, because episode 4 is dedicated to his cat, and so the name is Trixie or Dixie or something. Oh, I can't think.
Jinx.
Nice.
Jinx.
Yeah, that cat has a Twitter account.
Nice.
That cat.
Is it seriously?
Yes, the cat.
Yep.
The cat has a Twitter account. The cat tweets.
You guys can meet mine.
What's the
Well, it's paused right now, but.
Oh.
But no, I mean, the show, you gotta watch it. I mean, it's literally, it's so, and there's so many little Doctor Who references that even somebody who's like a newer Doctor Who can like get, like the Weeping Angels, and I mean, his daughter's like doesn't get the joke, but it's really funny, and he's like, Statue of Liberty, and he's like, oh, like a weeping angel. So, and the daughter's like, no, but. I would like to say Fight Club does not have anything on the battle episode because it's amazing. I think that's episode 8, and I mean, it was intense. So no, check it out. It is my new guilty pleasure. I think I'm on episode 11.
Nice.
I think it's clear. So whatever one that is. So check it out. I have my stamp of approval because I love it. That's really corny, but no, I love it. It's so funny.
Here we go.
Now, what's kind of cool here, Allison, is that sadly on Talking Assistant, I have to serve as the Doctor Who expert, which just means I know I've got about a kindergarten education on Doctor Who. And which is better than what Mike and Tony have on Doctor Who. But we have with us the Rhodes Scholar of Doctor Who, Bronwyn. So she brings the serious Who. So what are some of your thoughts? And this could be where, because of your knowledge, you may have a different opinion on something. But
well,
what do you think so far?
I thought he was going to say because of your who-ness.
Your whoosity.
I like it. It's very existential.
Your whoosity.
The whoosity of it all. Well, I am, in all fairness, only 2 episodes in, so I will have to stick with it and see. I am intrigued to see the idea of Dylan as the Time Lord. This concept of having the memories of a human life and the memories of a Time Lord has been explored in Doctor Who. So I'm intrigued to see, and it's interesting that you brought up the pocket watch thing earlier because, of course, it has been explored via pocket watch. So perhaps to bring us all back to The Walking Dead, Dylan is a zombie Time Lord. It could be. It could happen.
Possibly.
I don't know. I'm hypothesizing at this stage.
one of the on another show, I heard these guys talking about the Clear episode, and one of the guesses that was out there was it may have been a reference to my particularly favorite episode of The Walking Dead, which is the Clear episode with Morgan, and it's only Morgan, Michonne, Rick, and Carl.
I like that episode.
Yeah, that's Matt says welcome. You know, one of the best lines in any show ever recorded at any time. Sorry. You know, Michonne is making herself feel at home, and Rick just looks at her and she's like, Matt said welcome. You know.
Enough said.
What do you want me to do?
No, I do have a question, though.
Okay.
Okay. In Doctor Whoville, do they have... Whoville. Sorry.
the doctor down in Whoville.
So let me ask you something. Wait, Bronwyn. Let me ask you something. So the people in Doctor Whoville, we call them Whoers?
Only once, Tony. Only once.
That's a New York joke. Only people from New York got that one.
You know what we call them in Ohio? Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, no.
Maybe Lee got that one. If Lee is still watching, she may have gotten it because she's from North Jersey, so she would have got the whore reference. Because in New York, they don't know how to say whore. They say hooah. She's a hooah.
Hooah.
Okay.
Also, I would like to make a shout out to him, to our man, our Time Lord. Can there be more episodes with the cat?
Yes.
That would be a little suggestion. I love the cat. I think it's a smart ass cat, and so I personally love cats, and so I would like to have more episodes with that. Well,
I think there's been some contract issues in terms of but
yeah, the cat's not getting paid enough.
Yeah.
It's on
But
strike.
I mean, the doctor had K9 for so many years. Now, K9, in all fairness, was a robot shaped like a dog, but the precedent is there for an animal companion. So I think the cat has a role to play.
Well, get to episode 8, Bronwyn, because as Mike has described it, it's a game changer, and that is Battle. That's the one that.
Amazing! Like, you have to check it out. It's so cool.
And really, after you watch all of the episodes, it wouldn't hurt to watch The Talking Ass, because The Talking Ass, Mike's other show, The Talking Ass, those guys are great.
Like how it's Mike's other show.
Nothing like us assholes here. Those guys are friggin' phenomenal, and they take it apart, and they go through. Yeah, they really dissect that show, and it really is. It's pretty good.
I'm really
tripping balls theory.
Talking Ass.
Yeah, those guys they don't pick fights with states. They don't. It's a much better show.
And there's no fisting. There's no fisting on that show either.
It's a free show.
Yeah.
Asses.
I mean, there could be, but it's not necessary for the production.
Mike, since in my mind, you are talking ass. I was wondering, you might want to consider having Allison as a guest sometime on Talking Assistant too, and Bronwyn too, given her Who expertise.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'd have to have them both catch all the way up first before Mike could allow that to happen.
I'm on 11.
Yeah, which will be
We're up
like
to 14.
Tonight. Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah.
We're up to 14, but having said that, so there's a big discrepancy out there, Bronwyn. Laura claims that we are wrong, that Rick picked up the watch, but I seem to remember Maggie looking at the watch when Rick and them weren't around, before they had gotten back together, and Laura claims that Rick took the watch back. Why would Rick take the watch if Glenn was there? Why wouldn't he give it to Glenn?
When he fought the guy, he pulled it off of the guy, and then the next thing they do, they had shot him into the cart. So he still had the watch in his hand because he had pulled it off the guy. Where did you get this watch?
Oh no, but the watch. Where did you get? Okay, so last season he grabbed the watch.
Yes, last season.
Okay, so all right, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right there. I don't remember seeing him, giving the watch to Maggie. You guys might be right. It's just one of those things. But it seemed like the thing that could have been the catalyst was not really the catalyst. Maybe it was. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not that big of a deal.
I still think he was steampunk.
Yeah.
Pre-apocalypse.
All I know is I love the whole trough scene.
I honestly that nearly did me, and I made the mistake of watching that show by myself, and I had to put everything down and sort of ease back from the TV and be like, ooh.
You know what's a bad food choice during that?
Any food.
Pizza.
Oh.
Really bad. Really bad.
Or any kind of nacho dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having said that, we spoke about The Assistant. We talked about The Walking Dead. I think we covered everything we were going to talk about tonight.
Woohoo.
Oh, it's very sad, I know, but it's time for us to go.
I'm so glad I was back, guys. I miss you guys. And I'm excited to have a new shiny baby friend.
Yay. I know, this is very exciting.
Allison, you have an open invite. If you're just hanging out, you want to come in, just let us know. Open invite. We want to have you back again soon. Maybe Mike will have you on his other show.
I'm gonna get caught up on The Assistant and Talking Ass so that I can watch this. I'm excited to see you guest star on Talking Ass.
Okay, so
Definitely want both of you guys on Talking Ass.
Woohoo.
see. And we have
So
never.
the whole volume of fisting and talking ass today is much higher, much higher than I anticipated.
So
And here's Kelly.
having said that, thank you for coming, Allison. Thank you for coming, Bronwyn.
No problem.
Next week, are we having Christina? Is that next week, Kel?
Yes, Christina Bach from
Christina Bach is going to return. We're going to continue with the full zombie press. We'll have some more movies to add to that list. Ginger Snap is something that might get on that list also. But we've got a whole bunch of zombie movies out there, all on Netflix for free if you're paying for it. I mean, you're paying for it. It's not for free, but no additional cost. No additional money needs to be laid out for these movies. So next week we've got Full Zombie, Walking Dead, Z Nation. We've got a movie on Sunday, Finders Keepers. Bring Out Your Geek. Hey, don't forget to watch Bring Out Your Geek. That's a show that Bronwyn's on with our friend Jeans. And we got to get Jeans back for some zombie talk.
Definitely.
Nurture and Support. Comes out on Friday, so new episode tomorrow, Kel?
Yes, indeed, with a special guest. So be sure and tune in to find out who.
Yay.
Not me.
Not mine.
Huh?
Nope. Not at all. Not even
that
close.
special. That's what I was getting at there.
Okay. So tomorrow around 9-ish something, Mike is going to be guesting on The Assistant. Not The Assistant, the Dylan Knows, and you're going to be
I can't
Dylan
wait
Knows.
to be on The Assistant.
I was going to say, that's
That is
exciting.
my life's goal now, is to get on The Assistant.
And you're going to be wearing a bra, Mike, a sequins bra?
I'm actually thinking naked, because the one thing this show is lacking so far is frontal male nudity.
So check out the website. Mike, the talking ass, you never know when you're going to do it, right? It just comes up whenever it comes up. So I don't want you to give anything away, but that's the way it works, right? You do it when you do it, right, Mike?
Yeah, I feel like that's an accurate depiction. It depends on when I get together with those other guys.
Right. and the ass starts talking, right? It's hard to predict.
Alrighty, so with that, we're going to say goodnight.
Oh, and don't forget Cockstar Radio.
Oh, Cockstar Radio. Yeah, let's get them in. Don't forget to listen to those guys. And we'll have.
That was heartfelt.
We'll have. I mean, I was just about. I am tired, dude. Just about to. You know, we've had the talking ass, we've had the fisting. Let's talk about the cock star radio show now.
A show that Tony needs.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, so don't forget Cockstar Radio's on after, before, or after, or during SnarkAlec Radio. So good night, people, and we.
I mix them together. The stoner kids don't know the difference.
And before we go, we have to give you one more thing, and that is.
We give you mercy.
Oh.